Good morning, everybody. It has been a while since I posted a vlog. I actually skipped last week's vlog because I was really busy making my boat vlog. But since I skipped that one, I did make a little kind of montage of last week. So that would have been the 13th week of my weight loss journey. So here is that montage. This is the hotel that we crashed at for a little bit. Now we're heading back home.
It's an empty city. Nobody lives here anymore.
It's crazy how busy this street was 2 hours ago. Good stuff. Happy Saturday! So as you could see, it was a pretty good week. I started off Monday at work trying to get some steps in, do some squats while I had a 4-hour training session that Monday. Then things got a little bit more interesting. By Thursday, I went and met my husband in Philly. Me and my son got there around 6 p.m. We had dinner with him. At 10 p.m., we all went to sleep in the hotel room. And my son and I still had work on Friday, so we just took a little 2-hour nap. And then by midnight, we were hitting the road to come home. So we didn't get home until around 2 a.m. Thursday, well, 2 a.m. Friday morning. So obviously Friday I was pretty tired after work, so I didn't have anything to keep note of on Friday for losing weight or anything like that. I did track my calories for that week, so that's really good. So the information from the week before this week, I tracked all my calories. I exercised on the arc trainer one day the previous week, the week before this last week, current week. Wow, I don't even know which week. So I'm doing 2 weeks. So the montage was the week before this week. All of this information that I'm going to share right now was also the week before this week. So I was on the arc trainer one day last week. I did do several walks, and then when we were in Philly, I got over 10K steps, so that was good. Friday, again, no workout because of how exhausted I was. And then Saturday, we spent a lot of time on the boat. So we worked on getting the mast up, we worked on getting all of the rigging raised, and then we actually put it in the water and attached it to our mooring ball. So that's what we did all day Saturday, and then all day Sunday I worked on the video for that. So I was basically just sitting and not getting too many steps But I also didn't eat too much that Sunday, so I didn't have too many calories over the calories that I was burning. So for the whole week of Monday the 31st to April the 6th, I burned 2,428 calories and I ate 1,615 calories. So that gave me a 813 calorie deficit, which shouldn't have been 2 pounds, but drumroll please. I lost a total of 2 pounds exactly. So the last video that I made, I weighed in at 212, and this time on April 6th, Sunday, I weighed 210.4 pounds. So that's really good. I'm down to 210. So I actually changed that on my arc trainer setting to where my weight is 210 pounds. Now on to this current week that we're wrapping up today. So this is Sunday. So from April 7th to Sunday the 13th, I did not do anything. There's like not even a video that I can put into here to talk about. And the reason for that is from Monday to Friday at work, I was in a training program where it was an on-site training program. So Monday was all class learning. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday was actual hands-on touring, auditing, that kind of thing for work. So I didn't get any steps really. I think the most steps that I got in a single day were like 6,000 steps maybe, and that was on Wednesday. Wednesday I was just like mentally and physically exhausted from the learning and the walking around and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't work out then. I didn't work out Tuesday. I didn't work out Thursday. The only day that I worked out this week was yesterday. I was on the arc trainer and I burnt 495 calories on the arc trainer. I was tracking except for Wednesday. I don't know why Wednesday was so bad, but I didn't track. I didn't exercise. I was just exhausted. All day the lunches were served and they did bring in breakfast for some of those mornings. So Monday, it was like catered Chick-fil-A. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, it was all from Panera. So at least that wasn't too bad on the calories. It was, half a sandwich and soups and salads and things like that. So it wasn't anything too crazy, but they did have either a cookie or a brownie for dessert with lunch every day. So I did okay with the breakfast. On the morning that they brought in a donut, I only had half a donut, so that was good. But I did have a whole cookie twice during the week, and I did have a whole brownie once during the week. And then one morning they had muffins, so I had the corn muffin, which seemed to be the lesser of all the calories between the blueberry and the chocolate chip muffins and stuff like that. So even though I wasn't tracking, I did stay mindful of what I was eating. I was tracking Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and I definitely overate for what I was exercising to. So I didn't burn more than I ate that week, simply because I was either sitting or only getting a few steps walking around the plant that we were doing our training in. So I blame work. Work was definitely top priority this week and not necessarily my health, because even Wednesday, I went in early for the training, and then in the evening, we had to give a tour of our campus to the fire department. So that was in the evening. So I didn't get home until like 8:30 at night. So yeah, it was a wild week of just focusing on work. Really early mornings, really late days. So just work. Friday though, I didn't have to do training Friday, so I did get to work from home because my boss was also part of the training and she was exhausted too. So she's like, yeah, let's just work from home, kind of relax and stay in our PJs instead of having to get dressed and going to work. So we did have several meetings for Friday. I was trying to get on the arc trainer Friday, like on my lunch break or something, since I was home, but I just felt like I didn't get too much accomplished at all working from home that day. Just had a lot of meetings and stuff like that. So I went for a small walk on Friday just to get dinner with my husband. But yeah, so the whole last week I didn't take a single video or photo of anything other than work-related stuff. So that's why I don't have anything to add here. But yeah, so my weigh-in for today was, drumroll please, 210.8. 210 pounds, point 0.8. So even though all week I overate more than what I was burning in calories, I only gained 0.4 pounds. So I'm going to give that a drum roll and applause. Because it could have been a lot worse, but it wasn't. So that's nice to know that you can kind of have a week where you're not doing your best and it doesn't horribly impact your goals. Obviously, I would have liked to have been at 208 or 209 this week, but I'm happy that it's not at 213 or, something where I went backwards and I have to lose more weight. So I think I'm still on track. Definitely enjoying having kind of the mindset where I know that I shouldn't overeat, like I shouldn't go in and have 2 servings of something. I think that has definitely started to become habit for me. So that's nice to see that I know when I'm overeating now because I have been tracking my food. So that's been helpful. Also, you'll see I did take a video of my workout yesterday. And in that video clip, you will have seen that I added the weight bands back. So this week I'm focusing on 3 times a day for the arc trainer, not 3 times a day, 3 times a week for the arc trainer, and also adding in the weight bands again. So I want to use them at least 3 times this week as well. I really feel like I'm kind of losing muscle mass or something in my arms. The weight that I am losing, I'm starting to feel kind of soft and squishy still. So I definitely want to try and make sure that I'm keeping my muscle tone. And also that helps lose weight by burning more calories. So muscle burns more calories just when you're sitting around. So it's good to have muscle. I'm bringing the weight bands back in. I could definitely feel that the 30-pound weight band was a good weight because it was really, feeling the burn in my muscles and in my stomach. The one exercise with the weight bands where I'm standing up and I'm twisting, I can actually feel it really engaging my stomach muscles. So I'm definitely going to continue doing that because my stomach is probably just the most messed up part of my body after having 2 kids and everything. So I definitely want to try to keep the core strength there so that I don't have back pain and stuff like that. So working the weight bands back into the workout schedule. I think that it's actually easy to do. I'm not really sure why I stopped doing them, but it's easy to do like for my cool down after the arc trainer. It only takes like maybe 10 minutes to do the weight bands, the 3 sets of 10 that I do for each exercise. Only takes about 10 minutes. So it's nothing too extreme to try to work into the schedule after I get off the arc trainer. So hopefully you will see that in next week's videos where I do 3 arc trainer workouts and 3 weight band workouts. So since I've said it in this video, I have to have it ready and to go for next week's video because I said I would do it. So holding me accountable. So I'm gonna get to that. Another thing I wanted to mention is my planner. It's what I'm referencing for all of this information. I do pull it from my phone, but I have been tracking and filling it out week after week. Sometimes I'm not on top of it regularly, like I'm not filling it out every day, but the last 2 weeks I have gone back to make sure that it's completed because if you looked at any of my other planners after about the 3rd month, I stopped writing in them. Sometimes even sooner. Sometimes after like 3 weeks, I stopped writing in them. So it's really nice to see that this whole planner from the time that I started is like completely filled out with information. It's just, it's been nice to be able to go back and look and see this is part of staying consistent and accountable. So I really, really enjoy having my planner. I've started using it for tracking finances also. So I have my bills on there I have some credit card payoff information on there. Trying to improve on that as well, having less credit card debt. So I think that it's nice to have a planner. It's definitely nice to have a planner. Some people would even recommend going as far as having a journal where you're actually writing information about the food and stuff that you eat and how you feel and like bowel movements. I've talked about that a few times where it's like my midweek weigh in isn't really moving or going anywhere, but it's because I hadn't like fully processed all the stuff that I was eating. So yeah, that's good information to keep track of just so you kind of understand how your body is working and how your body is going through its cycles every month. I've had a hysterectomy, so I don't have my menstrual cycle anymore. So it's kind of interesting to see based off of what I'm tracking when my hormones are up and when I am actually what part of my cycle I would be in if I had periods still. So I could definitely see a change on where I am just like way more hungry and it's definitely a hormonal thing versus where I'm not as hungry and I eat. So that's kind of interesting if you're keeping track in a planner or a journal to see those fluctuating weeks that you have. So definitely recommend some type of journal, some type of planner. I don't really like to focus too much on my food that I'm eating. So like in my little journal thing where I'm actually noting something great that I did that day, something special, something, notable to write about. I'm trying to keep it not food related, even though sometimes it's all like, oh, I had a lunch date with my cousin, like it's still about food, but that was something that was special just to spend time with her. I'll mark down like when me and my son go for a walk or something like that. Or when I finish a vlog for the boat videos that I make, like I post that because that's something that I think is remarkable enough to go in my binder, even if it's just something small, but I try to keep it not food related because I don't want to focus on food. Anyway, I don't know. I don't want to focus on food too much because I don't want that to be like looking back at my journal, something that I was really like honed in on, I guess. Even though in this vlog I do have several pictures of really good looking meals that I've eaten. It's just kind of nice to see how those meals look when they're healthy, right? And my coffee on Saturday mornings. I love my coffee on Saturday mornings. But anyway, trying not to be too food focused on my planner. And I think that it's really been helpful to kind of feel like I'm not thinking about dieting all the time, but I'm tracking. So I kind of am. I don't know. It's a way to trick my mind, anyhow. So today's Sunday. I should get in the ARC trainer today. I'm not sure if I will or not. We have a little bit of a yard project to do where we have to cut down some trees. So I might be doing a little bit more cardio and heavy lifting, helping out with that. And if that's the case, then I won't get on the ARC trainer. But if it isn't the case, I have until 8:30, 9 o'clock when I will get on the ARC trainer, depending on how the day goes. I do kind of like to do my workouts in the evening, but I think another thing that's going to have to change is that if I get home at like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, I'm going to get on the ARC trainer as soon as I get home instead of waiting until like after dinner when I have more of a chance. Just kind of be like, I'm tired and comfortable now. I'm not going to do it. So I think doing them as soon as I get home would be beneficial, especially since next week it shouldn't be long days like how it was this week when I was getting home at like 6 or 7. So yeah, weight loss is going good. I'm staying kind of on top of things. This week was definitely a rough week. End of April, the first week of May, I am actually doing some travel for work. So I'll be heading to California for that week. So that's going to be a challenge, I know. But I'm really interested to see how well I do that week. And then I hope you are too. So stay tuned for that vlog in 2 or 3 weeks when I post that one. So I have 2 charts that I wanted to show in this vlog. One is for the first week in April, so the week that I have the montage for, the 31st to the 6th. This is the chart for that. And then I wanted to show the chart for the week before that week, kind of compare the two, which is actually March 24th to the 30th. So that one is where I was weighing 212 pounds. Here's that chart. So you'll see between the two charts, I am staying consistent. The arrows are red, green, kind of stayed the same information. So that is good to see that I am staying consistent. It would be nicer to see that the arrows are green because I am improving week over week with my cardio and my calorie intake. But consistency is good too. So I'm happy to see these two charts looking the way that they do, because my week was both weeks were very, very inconsistent with what I would normally be doing. The first week because of the little adventure to Philly, and the second week because it was just a week of nothing but work and training. So, following week, starting tomorrow, it'll be back to a normal kind of day routine, and then we'll see how California goes. So again, I hope these are helpful to you who are watching. It's really been helpful for me to record them. Definitely keeps me accountable, and I like to see my progress. So, sometimes after I post a video, I'll go back to like week 2 and I'll be like, oh yeah, like look at me, So it's nice to see, it's nice to have that record of how I'm losing weight. Yeah, lots of progress being made. So that's all I got. See you guys next time. Bye.